From the outside, this looked like the crisis everyone feared. A night of strikes, a region on edge, a map that suddenly moved. Tonight, we uncover what happened, what it means, and what to watch next. I'm Masood. Welcome to Real America Files. The headline: a joint U.S.-Israeli campaign, codenamed Operation Epic Fury, struck targets across Iran and announced precision strikes aimed at military and nuclear sites. The assault combined Tomahawk cruise missiles, stealth aircraft, and low-cost one-way attack drones, an operational shift in tactics. Initial reports show a broad target set: air defenses, missile batteries, and hardened facilities tied to uranium enrichment. Leaders in Tehran were explicitly named as targets in some briefings. That alone changes the political calculus. Israeli officials later claimed strikes damaged a compound linked to the supreme leader. Iran did not absorb this quietly. State media and official channels reported retaliatory strikes against regional U.S. assets and against Israel. Multiple launches and attempted strikes were reported toward bases in the Gulf and missiles toward Israeli airspace. The operation did not appear improvised. Israeli and U.S. officials say the plan had been in the works for months. Coordination ran deep: intelligence, targeting, logistics. President Trump framed the strikes as an effort to deny Iran a nuclear capability and to raise its missile production. His statement foregrounded preemption and regime pressure. So, what matters from here? What will determine how this unfolds? 1. The Iranian domestic response: protests versus organized resistance. Casualty images and internet blackouts will shape the story inside Iran. A mass organized rebellion is not automatic. Protest energy does not equal a coherent insurgency. That's the difference between a prolonged campaign and a short, coercive air operation. 2. The leadership decapitation and succession. If senior figures were removed or seriously wounded, Tehran faces an immediate political shock. Succession plays out publicly and through clerical networks. That creates windows and dangers for spillover and fragmentation. 3. Iranian retaliation targets and scale. So far, reports list strikes on bases across the Gulf and missile salvos toward Israel. Watch for maritime attacks, strikes on shipping and asymmetric options, proxy militias, drone swarms, or attempts to disrupt the Strait of Hormuz. A closure there would reshape global oil markets and force a harsh geopolitical realignment. Logistics and sustainment. How long can the campaign run? Airstrikes, cruise missiles, and mass drone launches consume material fast. The United States moved new systems and munitions into the theater, but sustaining a multi-day operation without a clear end state stretches logistics, political will, and domestic patience. Allied cohesion and regional actors. Gulf states, NATO partners, and Moscow-Beijing responses will matter. Expect private diplomacy behind closed doors. Public statements will vary. Some calls for restraint, others for support. How the U.S. manages coalition friction will decide whether this stays localized or expands. 6. Domestic politics in Washington and Jerusalem. This is a joint operation with political consequences. Expect congressional pushback if it drags on without clear legal authorization. Watch for messaging gaps. When leaders fail to explain objectives, public opinion frays fast. A single U.S. casualty could become a political inflection. Great power calculations. China and Russia will evaluate strategic implications. Energy disruptions hit Beijing hard. If Iranian oil exports collapse, global energy supply shifts, and Beijing's calculus toward Taiwan or other flashpoints could change. What to watch in the first 72 hours? The concrete checklist. Official battle damage assessments. Are the nuclear sites disabled or degraded? Independent verification matters. Confirmed status of senior Iranian leadership. Official statements, medical records, and later footage will be contested. Maritime incidents and merchant shipping advisories in the Strait of Hormuz. Any interdiction attempts will spike oil prices and trigger emergency measures. airbase and port security alerts across the Gulf states, evacuations or closures will indicate escalation risk. Congressional and allied diplomatic minutes, are key partners consulted and unified or fragmented? A few hard takeaways. This is not a snap operation. Operation Epic Fury used layered platforms and appears designed to persist for days at minimum. Leadership targeting raises stakes. Strikes aimed near the top of the Iranian state accelerate political reverberations beyond military metrics. Retaliation is already regional. Expect a protracted period of tit-for-tat activity, some kinetic, some covert, some legal. 4. The risk profile. If the campaign achieves a narrowly defined objective, delaying enrichment capability or destroying specific missile nodes, it could remain limited. If it seeks regime change or degrades core governance, we enter an open-ended game where outcomes are fundamentally unpredictable. This is the hard fact military leaders always warn about. Air power can punish. It rarely, by itself, plants a new government that lasts. So watch the signals, not the slogans, not the speeches. Watch the logistics, watch the shipping lanes, watch the succession statements inside Tehran, and watch if the map of alliances tightens or snaps. We'll follow this story carefully and bring documented updates. If you want the next briefing, I'll trace the verified damage assessments, the shipping incidents, and the diplomatic threads as they emerge. I'm Masood. This is Real America Files. We'll be back with the facts.